This crispy chicken is from a taco place.
This crispy chicken is from a taco place?
The taco place?
Taco place. It comes in a burrito, too?
From your taco place, it's also a chicken place that's also a taco place.
Check out the all-new Blue and Orange store at the Boise State Hall of Fame. The Blue and Orange store has your best game day gear. We're talking jerseys, hats, bumper stickers, car flags, more than 4,000 hats on the hat wall. If you want the best Boise State gear, make sure you check out the Blue and Orange store online at theblueandorangestore.com or the all-new Blue and Orange store down at the Boise State Allen Noble Hall of Fame.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
Bronco fans, the new Boise State trading cars are here, and you can only get them at Jackson's.
Start collecting them today.
Jackson's, let's go!
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass. Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.
Yeah, he's a good player. All right, we're going to be live in 2 minutes. Hope you're ready, folks. The pregame show here from ExtraMile Arena on Bronco Nation News.
Welcome to the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show from Bronco Nation News. Game time is approaching, and we're getting you ready with the latest pregame news, interviews, analysis, and more from BNN. Have a pregame score prediction or comment? Let us know in the ICCU YouTube chat, or leave us a message on the Signature Roofing voice box at speakpipe.com/BNN. The BNN pregame show is presented by Lithia Ford of Boise. Lithia Ford of Boise is a proud sponsor of Boise State Athletics and proud to support our student athletes through exciting NIL partnerships. From the blue turf to wherever life takes you, Lithia Ford of Boise is here to get you there. Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho. The title sponsor of Bronco Nation News is RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. For all your painting needs, check out RowPaint.com. Now, let's head out and join five-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show on Bronco Nation News.
Good evening, Bronco Nation, and welcome to ExtraMile Arena. Boise State basketball back in the X tonight as the Broncos looking for a second straight win as they take on the UTRGV Vaqueros here at ExtraMile Arena. Should be a fun one tonight as Boise State looks to build on the 101-point performance against Utah Valley the other day. And we got plenty to talk about with our man Abe Jackson here on Bronco Nation News. Abe, appreciate you as always kicking off our pregame show. We were just looking forward to Maui next week.
Yeah, we were
to be
talking about what we're going to do. The game times are matching up pretty nice.
To be completely honest, I missed the start of the pregame show because I was fantasizing about being on the beach by 3 o'clock each of the next couple of days.
Not going to be a bad trip. That's
a couple of games we got to worry about first. 3, in fact, starts tonight against Rio. Well, we're not supposed to call them that, right?
The Vaqueros.
They want to go by the UTRGV Vaqueros. They are 1-1 on the season. But let's start with Boise State. And you and Nathan had a chance to talk about the game on Saturday. Nathan did a great job filling in for me. But a lot better post-game with Nathan than it went with me last week.
Well, only because of what the team did. You're irreplaceable, BJ. You are irreplaceable. But the Broncos came out completely differently in that game against Utah Valley, and it started really with the point guard pressure. The pressure from the guards were hounding the guards from Utah Valley the entire time, and it started right off the tip. And so that kind of set the pressure defensively, and that's why the Broncos, I think, had a really big win. They're going to be able to score this year. This team is going to be able to score the ball. There's so many guys that can give you double digits, so it's going to come down, can they put together a solid defensive game?
And there was a lot to like, the scoring output. But again, some of the freshmen, Nato and Aarons, I thought both were good again.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Aarons, his release, I love it. How he just, wherever he catches it, it goes to a shooting motion. There's no catch, drop, and then it's just straight up. And he's already tall, 6'9", 6'10", high release. And then Nato, man, that first step, if he can just figure out to make the right decisions in the paint. We saw Cardenas last year do that so well. Nato's going to be able to get in the paint. When you get to conference, there's going to be a lot bigger guys in there. So can you finish, or can you make the right decision and do a floater or kick it out?
Yeah, and I thought, again, the aggressiveness of Drew Fielder, that first game against Hawaii Pacific, I don't think he took a shot in the first half. He scored the first 9 points of that game the other night, and when he's aggressive and gets off to a good start like that, it usually means good things. Got to stay out of foul trouble, but again, 20 points or whatever it was in 15 minutes, pretty effective.
Well, and what's so nice about getting the post started is that it'll affect the rest of your offense. You get the ball inside, and there's a couple buckets. All of a sudden, the defense starts crowding over to the post player, maybe throws a double team, and then he's a pretty good passer, so he can get out of that double team, hit some guys cutting to the hoop. So getting some buckets inside to start really opens up a whole bunch of options offensively.
You mentioned the defense, still gave up almost 80 points again, and I know it was a different style game with the number of possessions and things like that, but they let Utah Valley shoot almost 50% again. The on-ball defense, I thought, was better at times, but still, I don't think Mike Burns is kind of feeling great about where they're at defensively.
No, and that's what happens when you have guys who are in the program asked to do completely different things. Now, they do know how to play defense in Boise State's defensive schemes, but all the new faces that have come in, they've always been asked to score. They know how to score. From grade school, they've known how to score the ball, but they might not have been taught how to play great defense. And then you come into a program that really hangs its hat on defense, and you've gone over the numbers about where you rank defensively and your chances of going to the NCAA. So it's something that the Broncos know. So it's not surprising that the defense is a little bit behind the offense, because these guys have been playing offense and scoring their entire lives. This might be the first time some of them have been in a program that emphasizes defense as much as it is. So it'll get there, but yeah, it's a little behind the offense right now.
A little bit of a slow start in the first game for Javen Buchanan, but I thought he rebounded nicely. 10 points, 6 assists, 5 rebounds.
Yeah, and 10 points, we know he can score the ball, but there's so many guys on this team that can score the ball. So the question is, when it's not your night, and it's going to rotate who's the leading scorer a bunch of times this year. So if it's not your night offensively, what do you do to still help the team and still be productive? And Javen Buchanan did that. He had 6 assists, which led the team. He had 5 rebounds. And then he had 10 points on 3 of 7 shooting. So when the offense maybe wasn't clicking perfectly for him, he still affected the game in a huge way.
Let's talk we got a lot of positives to talk about, but also a few guys that, at least to me, have been a little surprising with the slow starts. And I know it's 2 games. You don't want to read too much into it, but certainly a guy like Pearson Carmichael, they got to get him going.
Yeah, and he's somebody that I think really thrived off having Tyson and also Cardenas on the team last year. And that's one person that is going to be asked to do a completely different thing really than he was last year. So I think he'll get going. He's a good player. He's good off the dribble, and we know he can shoot the ball. And so it's just another score that the Broncos have.
What about R.J. Keene? He moved into the starting lineup. I see Mama Keene right over there talking to our friends, the Atkinsons. But he obviously hasn't maybe played quite as much. I think he's at 15 minutes a game. I thought he might be a little more over 20. I know some of the freshmen are taking some of those minutes away, but the proof was in the pudding last year. When R.J. Keene played at least 17 minutes, this team was almost unbeatable.
Yeah, and I think you're going to start seeing that in the stats as well. And R.J. Keene, I think, can be that calming force that we were talking about after the Hawaii Pacific game, that nobody out there was doing that. It just kind of seemed to go off the rails, and no one was there to put it back on the rails. But R.J. Keene into the starting lineup, I think it was a good move by the coaching staff, and I think you'll see him there pretty consistently, because he's not going to give you 12 or 15 points. He might give you 2 to 7, but the way he rotates on defense, the way that he can communicate on the floor, the way that he can rebound the ball can affect the game.
And the only other guy that's really gotten off to a little bit of a surprisingly slow start is Julian Bowie. But when we talked to Leon yesterday, and obviously his situation with his dad passing away, somewhat recently, and a lot of things he's dealing with off the court. So you kind of give him a pass there, and once he's a very good player, and there's obviously going to be big games ahead for him.
Yeah, there will be. They're going to lean on Bowie, and I know last year he had a big game in Idaho Falls against St. Mary's, knocking down some threes. So he'll have a role in here, but I think his role will either get more or less, I think, depending on how Meadow plays. I mean, Meadow had a really good game. He was good defensively. He was good in the on-ball screens.
Yeah.
And he's shown that he can get in the lane and finish within traffic. So now, can he shoot as well as Julian? Probably not.
What did you think, by the way, of I had a NATO question, but Bon getting in there, I was a little surprised. I thought he might be a redshirt candidate. He got in there and got some minutes in that game.
Yeah, bun boom.
Bon boom.
Bun like a hot dog bun and then boom.
Bun boom. All right.
Bun boom. Yeah,
that's not exactly how it was told to me, but that's all right.
Okay, by him?
No, but I'm going to take your word
I
for
was
it.
I was told by Bob.
We're going to go with that then. All right.
Okay.
Bun boom.
Yeah, no, it was a little surprising for me too, especially with all the guys that they can go to have him come in and play. But the coaches, saw something and think that he can help them out this season.
Okay, back to NATO for a second, because he just looks like he belongs. I mean, he's 2 or 3 games into his, into his true freshman season here. I know he had an exhibition or scrimmage or whatever, but I mean, when he gets out there on the court, you really don't think he's a true freshman. And he's the third most minutes on the team through 2 games, and he just looks like he fits right in. Which, I mean, you played this game. Tell us, I mean, it's not that easy.
No, and you never know how a freshman's going to transition, right? I mean, you have them in practice and you think they're going to do something, and then the lights come on and they're a completely different player. But with NATO out there, what I liked was how he got after the guards. What I will say is that I think the refs let a lot of contact go, and the guards could really get after it against Utah Valley with some hand checks and some bumping. So it'll be interesting to see how he can adjust his guard pressure if the whistles are getting a little bit tighter. But what I really liked is that he had the quickness to get around an on-ball screen and then finish in the paint. We saw a couple right-hand and one left-hand finish. So I think he's going to be tough. And I said the next step in him is getting into that paint. And then when a 6'10" or 7-foot big guy comes over, do you have the floater or can you pass it out and not try and finish over the top? So I've liked what I've seen from him.
Final thing or two for Abe Jackson. He'll be on the call with Bob Beeler coming up in 16 minutes over on KBOI 670. He does a tremendous job with Bob, so you can turn down the Mountain West Network, listen to Bob and Abe tonight. No disrespect to Brian King or the folks over there. But the first game obviously went horribly wrong. They lose that game. It was embarrassing. They were national news for the wrong reason. They come out on Saturday against a pretty good Utah Valley team, and a little nervous energy, like, okay, you can't let this spill over. You cannot lose this game. And they win by 24. A win like that, and just, Leon, the coaches, the players getting a chance to just take a deep breath and get, okay, not necessarily we're back, whatever, but just got the win. That's more like it. What confidence-wise, getting that first win under their belt after the debacle last week, what can that do now for them to move forward here?
Well, I think it just kind of gets not the monkey off the back, but a little bit of pressure gone, right? I mean, it's rare that you have a gut check game the second game of the season. And usually that comes in January, February, when you've maybe lost a couple conference games in a row, and then you're, trying to get back on track. But they responded, and they responded in a way that I like to see, because it wasn't never about talent in that first game. Boise State had more talent. You would choose Boise State's players over Hawaii Pacific players, almost every single position. So what was it about? It was about defensive intensity. It was about cohesiveness on the defensive end as a group, and we saw them adjust and get that done against Utah Valley.
Now, this team tonight, UTRGV, by the way, may have one of the best named players in all of college basketball. One of their starting guards is named Always Right.
Always Right.
Please tell me at some point when he makes a shot or does something, you can just kind of smoothly say he's been always right tonight or something.
I'm sure he's been hearing that his entire life.
Can we get that from you at some point tonight? I'll pardon with the Always Right name.
I won't promise.
Or can you go the other way? He was always wrong tonight or something.
Always Right was wrong on that free throw.
Okay, something like that. Awesome name there. I love the name Always Right for UTGRV, but they come in, they only lost by 15 at Baylor. Leon was telling us yesterday they went on a 17-1 run at one point against Baylor. They were up 12 late in the first half at Baylor, and that was a sellout crowd at Baylor. So this isn't going to be one of these teams that comes in here and just gets intimidated by this atmosphere.
No, it's not. They're not going to be intimidated, and what they can do is shoot the ball almost 50% from three. Granted, only a couple games, but they've scored in the 80s or more in both of their games. I think 95 points in a win, 81 points in a loss against Baylor. So these guys can score the ball. So it's going to be guarding that three-point line. Their leading scorer is a 6'4" guard. He's averaging 23 points. And so it's going to be guarding that three-point line. Some games you're like, we got to pack the post and get those post players. But this is going to be coming off screens. Can you play one-on-one defense at the three-point line and challenge without fouling?
Yeah, I mean, they come in at number 169 at KenPom. I mean, that's a solid middle-of-the-pack type score. And the spread's here 17 via KenPom. I mean, this is one of those games where if you could find a way to win this, comfortably, it would once again kind of help the metrics
17,
here.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's a big number. I really do. I mean, that's a big number against really anybody. And but for the Broncos now in the KenPom era, the last few years or more, you got to hit it.
I hate to say it, man, and especially with how that first game went, they got a lot of catching up to do. And I think I'm not saying Leon's going to leave his starters in every second of every game, but a 27-point win matters a lot more than a 21-point win. I mean, they're going to be catching the numbers, and they need to have those numbers look as good as they can because of that slip-up, which didn't count in the numbers, but yet everyone's going to go, oh, well, yeah, they still lost to them. So I think games like this are important.
Yeah, and here's the thing about that Hawaii Pacific game. Yes, it's not going to be on the sheet that the committee gets, but if Boise State's on the bubble, the committee's going to look – they're going to see it. I mean, it's going to see it. It might not reflect in the numbers, but they're going to see it.
But if the numbers are so impressive that
that's what I was going to say right there too. Is that it does come down to stats a lot, and I think the Broncos do need to put together some impressive on paper wins. I mean, a lot of the committee or whoever it's going to be, it's probably not going to be watching this game here tonight. So when they see the score, Boise State won by 25 over number 162, solid win.
All right, final thing real quick, just your keys to a Boise State win tonight.
I like the pressure on the guards that make them feel you. When you're playing against a team that can shoot the ball, you have to know they're there. I was a shooter, and what I hated the most was someone who got up in me and made me feel them the entire game, and I didn't get any space to get my shot off. So get into the guards, get into the 2 and 3 men who shoot the ball. See where it goes.
Hey, appreciate you as always, man. We'll be listening over there on the radio call, and hopefully, time permitting, catch up with you on postgame as well.
Yep, I'll be here.
Abe Jackson, best in the business. Appreciate him for joining us. Hey, got plenty to get to here. We'll do that momentarily on Bronco Nation News on the Lithia Florida Boise pregame show. Do want to thank a couple of our great sponsors that make this show free of charge for you to watch here on YouTube. We do have a little bit of a controversy going on with the uniforms. We'll explain that to you here in a second. RoePaint.com, ROEPaint.com, all your painting needs. Make sure you hit up our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RoePaint.com, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Make the switch today. They're the best in the business, and we're an ICCU member. They got a branch pretty much on every corner, with the easiest, that mobile e-branch online banking, ICCU, ICCU.com. Hey, TacoBellWorks.com, the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Get out to Taco Bell. Perfect night. Rain's family had hitting lessons tonight, so the boys are picking up some Taco Bell, probably on the way home to get ready to watch this game. But we appreciate the Nicolason family, the SON Management Group. Taco Bell. Find a location near you. Get more information at TacoBellWorks.com. Hey, Latrell Caples, he'll be the guest tomorrow night, 7:30. Riley and Rid live from the James Kitchen and Bar in downtown Boise near Albertson Stadium. Come on to the James tomorrow and meet Riley and Rid and Latrell Caples. He'll be the special guest in person. Special time tomorrow, 7:30, out on the patio at the James Kitchen and Bar. And don't forget, when Latrell scores, you get a 49-cent fountain drink the following Monday from the Let's Go Rewards app. The Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Get those customized Boise State jerseys. You can do that at the Blue and Orange Store anywhere in the world. Online, theblueandorangestore.com, or going to that Boise Town Square Mall location, the new location down at the Boise State Hall of Fame, where you can get a customized jersey in minutes. And again, over 4,000 hats on the hat wall. Make sure you hit up the Blue and Orange Store. Again, online, theblueandorangestore.com. I want to thank Lithia Florida Boise. Speaking of Latrell Caples, he's everywhere. Lithia Florida Boise. They're helping out athletes, coaches, administrators. They're taking care of your favorite athletes with NIL deals, including Latrell Caples. So if you want to return the favor when you're looking for that next car or truck, do what the Raines family did. Go purchase it from our friends at Lithia Ford Boise. All right, again, back here live. My name is BJ Raines. We are at ExtraMile Arena, getting you set for Boise State and the Vaqueros of UTRGV. They're 1-1 on the season. I know they got the funny name, but they can hoop a little bit, folks. They are 169th at Ken Palm, right there in the middle of the pack. And this is going to be a nice game here for Boise State. This team can shoot. As I said earlier, they only lost by 15 points at Baylor. They went on a 17-1 run in the first half against Baylor, and they were up by 12 in the second half of this game. So they've got some folks that can shoot the ball, and this is going to be a nice little test here for Boise State tonight. All right, earlier, you see this video here. We have all three officials for tonight's game, and that includes Amy Bonner, the lead official, Brian Amslinger, and Steve Honacki. They were talking with representatives from both teams. It appears that the Vaqueros, for some reason, thought Boise State was going to wear dark uniforms, and they showed up in gray uniforms. So typically the home team wears white. The visiting team wears the dark colors. For some reason, there was a miscommunication on what color uniforms that UTRGV was supposed to wear, and they came out wearing gray uniforms, which are very, very similar to the white uniforms that Boise State is wearing. So the officials came out. Amy Bonner, the lead official, this is, shortly after they arrived. They're still in their street clothes here. They agreed to talk it over with both teams, but they agreed to allow it if Boise State wants to stay with the white. As you see there's RJ Keene wearing the white, and then you see the gray of UTRGV right behind them. So it is a very similar color, white and gray of the uniforms. The only problem here, as we send you back to a live look, is that the Vaqueros didn't bring any other uniform. So if a team has to change, unfortunately, it's going to have to be Boise State. So Boise State can elect to change to the blue, or they can elect to change to their orange uniforms. I guess they could go black as well. Three other options for Boise State, but the referees did come out and say they were okay with it if the teams were okay with it. And I was told that Boise State hadn't made a final decision. They've been on the court warming up ever since this conversation, so they still could go back into the locker room and decide to change their uniform color here before they come back out with about 26 minutes on the clock for the official pregame warmups here. So we'll find out shortly if Boise State is electing to change uniforms or if they are okay. Part of me says you're the home team. You want to wear what you want to wear. Just go white and gray. Why should you have to be the ones to change? But if you're the only one that has other options in your locker room right now, Leon Rice came out, was talking to Mike Burns and Lexus Williams, the director of operations, Matt Charles. They were having a conversation there near the end of the bench. Leon typically does not come out during pregame warmups, but he came out, wanted to get a look at the gray uniforms for UTRGV. And I don't know what the final determination was, if the team is going to change uniforms back in the locker room or not. But as of now, you see white and gray, very, very similar uniforms to this point. But again, UTRGV claims, or apparently they thought, and there was a miscommunication in transit at some point, that they were supposed to wear this color of uniforms tonight, and I believe it's all they brought. They played a couple of nights ago in southern Utah and stayed out on the road. They were at southern Utah on Saturday. They won 95-72. I don't know what color they wore that night, but apparently this is all they have, the gray uniforms, and we'll have to see what it is. Now, someone's joking here. How about not the ones they lost to Hawaii Pacific in? These are not those. Right now, Boise State has the retro logo on the shorts, and it would be the script Broncos jersey, the same uniforms they wore in the Utah Valley game. Apparently, Drew Fielder ripped his jersey or had something wrong with the ones against Hawaii Pacific. So I don't know if he ripped it after the game or during the game or what, but something happened during the Hawaii Pacific game, and they cannot wear those uniforms right now. So luckily, they had two sets of whites. I like this one better anyway, with the script Broncos and the retro logo. Again, the same uniforms they won for the Utah Valley game. They're going to give those a shot tonight if they decide not to change, I guess. And we'll find out here in the near future if they'll be back in about 8 minutes or so. We'll find out if they're going to change in the locker room or decide to just go white versus gray. But they're pretty close, but they're not the same. But they are much closer. But again, my understanding is the referees did approve it. If Boise State wants to stay with white, that would be okay with them. And again, Amy Bonner, our lead official, they'll be out here in the next 10 minutes or so as well to get another look at this. But a little bit of a uniform gate here to start things out here at ExtraMile Arena. I missed Saturday's game. I watched the whole game on TV. I was back in St. Louis for a charity function. We raised nearly $60,000 for kids with cancer back in St. Louis over the weekend, and watched the game on TV. And kudos to our man Nathan Carroll. Thought he did a tremendous job hosting pregame, hosting postgame. So thank you to Nathan Carroll. He did an outstanding job hosting in our absence, and BNN is lucky to have someone like Nathan that's available to help us out for football, for basketball. Does a tremendous job writing, obviously, but also does a great job when it comes to hosting and things like that. So very thankful and appreciative to our man Nathan Carroll for his work helping out last night. Leon Rice was also talking to the media yesterday. We'll try to hear a minute or two of that, but I wanted to hear from Andrew Meadow as well. Andrew Meadow deciding to get rid of the glasses. No more long hair, no more glasses. Andrew Meadow looking like a completely different player. We'll hear from him in a minute as well. But Boise State, again, 32 minutes away from taking on UTRGV. I want to make sure I get that correct for them. We'd like to get your guys' score predictions. We'd like to get your spot you're watching from. We had our man Sky Ship watching this morning's show from Cairo, Egypt. So you never know where you folks are traveling, where you're watching from, where you've found us through Google or YouTube or whatever. So we appreciate each and every one of you deciding to make this part of your pregame routine. Every pregame, we start an hour before tip-off here on Bronco Nation News. And we appreciate all of you, and hopefully you make this your yearly thing. That every time, your daily thing. Whenever Boise State plays, hopefully you know to start that off an hour before tip-off with us here on Bronco Nation News. I do have a little bit of bad news, though. I told you guys on the morning show today that we'd be streaming the game on the channel here. We cannot do that. The channel that the company that we worked out the deal with only has certain Mountain West Network games, and they do not have tonight's game. So unfortunately, you will have to go watch tonight's game on the Mountain West Network on themw.com. And we'll be back for the post game, but we will not be able to live stream the game tonight. I apologize for that. Nothing, it's completely out of my control. Nothing that I did or nothing that I could have done. Again, the company that we partnered with apparently does not get, they have to pay the Mountain West for the games, and they did not want to pay for all of the games, I guess. So we only get certain games. I'm trying to get Saturday's game because I'll be in San Diego, and it'd be kind of fun if I could do the broadcast on Saturday from San Diego. And I'm hoping to make that happen on Saturday for the game against Montana State. But as of now, nothing I can do about it. I apologize, but no live stream tonight. You're going to have to go watch the Mountain West Network feed for that. You see both teams heading back to the locker room, getting ready for this game here tonight. Andrew Meadow, while we're waiting for the teams to come back out, let's hear a couple minutes from Andrew Meadow. No more goggles. Took them off for the first time in his basketball career. First time in his life playing basketball with no goggles, and he wore contacts, and he was amazed at how much better he could see. It's going to help him defensively. It's going to help him offensively. Pretty crazy how he didn't realize wearing the goggles, how much of his peripheral vision was blocked by the sides of these goggles. Let's hear from Andrew Meadow as we continue the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show live from ExtraMile Arena. My name is BJ Rains, and here's Andrew Meadow.
The first win, the better game of the other day.
It felt great. Obviously last Monday wasn't a good feeling, but I think we used it as fuel and we responded the right way, and now we've got to just use the game on Saturday to fuel us into the rest of the season.
What did change? And I know you never want to have to deal with the loss to kind of learn some things, but what came out of that first game that you hope can kind of help you moving forward here?
I think it showed that anybody can beat anybody. Like, we can't take any game for granted, any opportunity for granted, and we got to approach every game with the same mindset, no matter who we're playing.
Take us, Leon was telling us about the vision of the class. He said more peripheral vision. Just kind of take me through that decision.
Yeah.
What changed for you?
Yeah, so I kind of realized one day, like, my glasses got super dirty from just sweat, so I took them off on the court, and I just, realized, I have way more, even though I couldn't see because it was blurry, but I just could see more on the court, more peripheral. And then in the Washington scrimmage, I also got elbowed, and the glasses hit me in the eye, and I had to get stitches mid-game and got a concussion from it. So it was just didn't want to deal with little things like that later in the season, and just wanted to if it can help my game, then it can help my game.
How much more confident did you feel in that game on Saturday?
I felt really confident. You know, I was a little nervous at first because I've never played basketball without glasses. But, you know, once I got out there and made my first shot, you know, it's just basketball at the end of the day, and I felt good.
Well, had you thought of it before? And then why have you always dismissed it?
I don't know. I've thought about it a few times, but, you know, it just kind of didn't really hit me until I took them off the other day, and I was like, wow, I can really see more, so I might as well try it. But I was nervous because, like, I've worn them since I was 7 years old.
How long did it take you to get your contacts in, or what was that whole thing like?
Game day, it took me 45 minutes to get them in, but today it actually took like 6 minutes, so I'm getting better at it every day.
I've been there before, but what is it like? Why do you struggle with it, you think?
Just I couldn't get my finger close to my eye. I had to just like pull it. My eyes were like bloodshot red from just, you know, trying over and over again. And then I put the wrong ones in the wrong eye, and then I had to take them out, put them in the other eye. So it was a struggle, but once I got them in, I felt good.
Was last week the first time you had ever worn contacts in your life?
Yeah, the day before the game was my first time ever wearing them. And the eye doctor they said they usually like bring me back a week later to, you know, do the training and everything. And I was like, nah, like I need to take them right now, and I'll figure it out on my own.
What was it about? Was it just the way they looked, or why'd you go with the goggles, I guess, to begin with, and not give contacts a try earlier?
I had glasses, and then once I started playing basketball, I needed goggles, obviously, or else the glasses would break. And then it just kind of became my thing, my look. And then, I mean, as a kid, you don't really notice like things like peripheral vision and stuff like that. But I think it was just a big eye-opening moment the other day, and I think I realized like, if it's affecting me on the court, yeah, it's my look, but, you know, I need my performance to be as best as possible.
Obviously, we've made a big deal about the hair, and then now the goggles. I mean, that's kind of what you were kind of known for. I mean, that was the big breaking news before the game, seeing you out there without it. I mean, what's that? That's kind of what you were known for, I guess. What's your thoughts on just your appearance changing here?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely weird even seeing like clips of me playing without goggles, without hair. But, you know, I mean, my game is the same. It's the same like that, and, you know, I don't know. I didn't really look too much into it.
I mean, it is kind of a specific look, though. I mean, like that was like your thing, and like you go viral for that stuff. I mean, does it feel like I mean, how much was that a little bit part of your identity? Was it hard to change at all?
It definitely was, like especially the hair too. Like when I was in the chair getting my hair cut, I was like super nervous. I was sweating, shaking, and then even like when I first put contacts in, I just kind of felt weird just because I've always worn glasses, but. You know, it's something that I just gotta, you know, take a little risk. I gotta go against my superstition sometimes, and, you know, like last year, I think when I cut my hair, I started playing really well, and then so maybe the goggles will do the same thing.
I mean, on that note, you did play pretty well the other night.
Yeah, I had a pretty good game, but I'm glad I did too, because if I didn't, then it probably would have been harder to put the contacts in again.
Well, there you go, Andrew Meadow. Appreciate him for meeting with the media yesterday, and yes, Andrew Meadow. No longer wearing the contact, or no longer wearing the goggles, no longer wearing the hair. I mean, he looks like a completely different person. And we talked to him yesterday and enjoyed that conversation as well. So Andrew Meadow, again, had 18 points, I believe. So, I mean, if it works, stick with it, right, I guess. But certainly looked a little different there. We're going to hear from Leon Rice momentarily. We're waiting for the Broncos to emerge. We'll see if they decide to switch the uniform color as well. Moving forward here, but do want to thank a couple more sponsors real quick that make this show possible for you guys to watch around the world free of charge on YouTube. Snake River Pool and Spa, we appreciate them. The SpaTeam.com, locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. They've been around since 1978. They're part of the Boise State home team, whether it's a sauna, spa, pool table, you name it. Check it out online at thespateam.com. Hey, Matt Bauscher, he'll be joining us Friday morning. Bauscher Real Estate. BauscherRealEstate.com, the number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Check them out online, BauscherRealEstate.com. And we bought and sold our home using Matt and his team. Tremendous customer service from start to finish. I highly recommend Matt Bauscher and Bauscher Real Estate. Hey, Ridley's Family Markets, ShopRidleys.com. Love that CUNA location. Love that Star location as well. 13 locations in the state of Idaho, many more in the surrounding states. Ridley's Family Markets. Download that Skip app. Get savings up to 40% off at the checkout line. And again, that's our friends at Ridley's Family Markets online at shopridleys.com. Hey, Transportation Compliance Service, if you're looking for a new career change, fresh start, you need a job, how about the trucking industry? It's booming right now. Transportation Compliance Service can help you every step of the way. The DOT, overweight, all the paperwork and things you need to get out there towing that first load in no time. Local company helping out folks all over the world. Check them out at transcompservice.com. Hey, Signature Roofing, they've been covering our community for more than 2 decades at mysignatureroofing.com. Talk to their fabulous, tremendous owner, Joel Cano, recently, and appreciate everything Signature Roofing is doing for BNN. They got the RJ Keene Show, all kinds of great stuff going on. But they're bringing us our voice inbox. If you want to leave a voice inbox, we'll play it on a pregame show, a postgame show, a morning show. It's pretty easy. Just go to speakpipe.com/BNN, leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on an upcoming show. Again, brought to you by Signature Roofing. Whether it's a re-roof, a repair, an estimate, or an inspection, they got you covered online at mysignatureroofing.com. Back here live on the Lithia Ford of Boise, a pregame show. The Broncos have emerged from the locker room, and as you can see, they said, you know what, heck with it. We're not changing, we're going white. So it'll be white against gray, but Boise State is wearing the script Broncos and the retro shorts. Again, same white uniforms they wore against Utah Valley. The other ones they wore in the first game against Hawaii Pacific. Drew Fielder apparently ripped his jersey or something. Excuse me, so they're not wearing those, but I think good mojo as well. Stick with the uniforms that won, and you played well in the Utah Valley game for. But these are the ones they just wore in the Utah Valley game. They're 1-0 in them, and they're going to stick with them and try to get to 2-0 tonight. So from that standpoint, I think it's kind of a nice mojo there to stick with the same uniforms, and that's probably part of what it was. You know what? We know who's on our team. They're wearing gray. We're wearing white. It's going to be a little weird tonight, but they decided they did not want to change. If you joined us late, there was a discussion pregame with the officials. UT Rio Grande came out wearing gray uniforms, very similar to the white that Boise State is wearing, but they don't have any other options from what I was told. Maybe something changed. We'll see when they come out here momentarily, but I was told they only have the gray. And Boise State would have had to change if they wanted to. The referees did approve the white for Boise State and the gray if that's what the teams wanted to do. And it looks like that's what the teams elected to do. So it'll be Boise State in the script Broncos and the old school retro Idaho shorts, as you see right here on the screen. And then UT Rio Grande Valley, the Vaqueros will be wearing gray uniforms here tonight. The Vaqueros coming off a big win down there at Southern Utah. They won 95-72 at Southern Utah on Saturday, stayed on the road, came up to Boise on Sunday, practiced here yesterday before the game tonight. So they've been out on the road for a while. They had a 15-point loss at Baylor in their season opener. So this is a pretty respectable squad here. I know you say, okay, UTRGV, funny name, whatever, the Vaqueros, but only lost by 15 at Baylor. In that game, they had a 17-1 run on Baylor. They were up 12 late in the first half on Baylor, and so they played very well, and that'll be, a hostile environment, all that stuff that they've already played in front of. So this big crowd tonight won't exactly faze them by any means when you think about the Vaqueros coming in here playing in front of a crowd at ExtraMile Arena after already playing at Baylor and then at Southern Utah. So they're battle-tested, they're road-tested already, and looking forward to see if Boise State's defense can find a way to continue to improve, because 2 games, giving up 75-plus points in both games. Certainly you'd like to see the defense improve a little bit for Boise State, and I know that Mike Burns certainly wants to get that happening. The on-ball defense in particular, it was better against Utah Valley, but certainly you're giving up 75-plus points a game. Utah Valley shot almost 50% from the field again, so both games so far, teams shooting 70, almost 50% from the field. And Boise State entered the season number 70 in the defensive efficiency rankings at KenPom, and they are 74 right now. And don't forget, that doesn't even count the Hawaii Pacific game, which obviously did not go well. Hawaii Pacific did not miss 3 shots in a row all game. So Boise State's defense not up to par through 3 games, and I know that's a big stretch that they hope to fix here tonight. The referees are making their way onto the court tonight. Amy Bonner, the lead official tonight, a female referee. So she'll be the lead official. She is one of the more well-traveled officials in the country, and she obviously refs a lot of games and did some Mountain West games last year, and worked 2 or 3 Boise State games last year. I'm going to look up the stats here very easily and see where she's been working of late. But Amy Bonner went to Mizzou, but I won't hold that against her as a Kansas alum. But I'm looking on the KenPom rankings to see Brian Anslinger, one of the officials tonight, just did the San Diego State-Idaho State game on Sunday. He's done 3 games so far: Milwaukee against Hampton, Austin P at Air Force, and then San Diego State, Idaho State at Viejas Arena on Sunday. That's the 3 games for Brian Anslinger, one of the officials for tonight. I'm trying to find Amy Bonner on the fly here, so I apologize that I am unable to do that. But she is typically a pretty highly ranked official. She did a game last night in Los Angeles, Pauley Pavilion, UCLA, and West Georgia. So she's already done 4 games this year. She's been in the Breslin Center at Michigan State, Assembly Hall for Indiana. She was at Welsh Ryan Arena for Northwestern, and then was at Pauley Pavilion for UCLA. And now here she is at another historic venue in college basketball, ExtraMile Arena for Boise State tonight. So the officials, well traveled. Those guys have crazy schedules, and gals have crazy schedules, and they're independent contractors. So the more games they ref, the more they get paid. And so Boise State, you deal sometimes with different quality of refs depending on how many games there are that night. The less number of games, the better quality of officials you're going to get, because you get the better officials get the first choice to work more games. So Amy Bonner is a fine official. Don't know much about the other 2, but we'll see tonight here. But on a Tuesday, probably a lot of games tonight, so maybe not getting the cream of the crop in terms of the officials. You see that UTRGV has come out of the locker room, and they are also wearing those gray uniforms. They had nothing to change into, so it'll be kind of a unique color matchup, white against gray, here tonight at ExtraMile Arena. Again, this is the Lithia Ford Boise pregame show. My name is BJ Rains. Appreciate you guys for checking us out. Hopefully you have subscribed already to the all-new BroncoNationNews.com. We're part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Daily recruiting updates from Chris V, analysis from Nathan Carroll, columns from Mike Prater, and all kinds of stuff from myself as well. So you can hang out and chat in the message boards. You can get all kinds of daily Boise State content, multiple stories a day, usually posted something on Max Cutforth today. And then also we've got, all of our post-game press conferences, video interviews, all kinds of things. Max Cutforth talking to the media today. We got that posted as well. So make sure you go subscribe. $7 a month right now is our special we're running. $7 a month. All it costs to subscribe to BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love to have you jump on board. You can try us for your first month for $1 if you'd like. All different kind of options on there as well. So appreciate those of you that have already made the switch. We will be heading to the Maui Invitational next week. The only local Boise outlet heading out to Maui will be Bronco Nation News. We'll be at as many basketball road games as we can. The only outlet that travels regularly with the road. We'll be on the road with the football team as well. So if you want pregame, postgame coverage from folks that are actually at the game, you want to stick it to BroncoNationNews.com, and we appreciate all of you that, again, have subscribed. If you haven't, go check it out, BroncoNationNews.com. And every football game, every basketball game, BroncoNationNews.com. Yes, I still write. Somebody's asking about that. I've already written 2 stories. I wrote a story yesterday and today. So don't write quite as much as I did as a beat writer. Nathan handled some of that, Chris Prater, but trying to write a little more. But, yes, I wrote about Maddox Madsen yesterday, wrote about Max Cutforth today. And you can get on there and read that at BroncoNationNews.com. We still get you the full post-game recap. I'll be writing the post-game recap from the basketball game today. I do that for the football games as well. So, maybe don't do quite as much writing as I typically did. Just too much going on. But I do love writing and try to do it as much as I can. And I will be having the full report post-game tonight. Someone asking in the chat about if we're streaming the game on BNN. I mentioned this earlier as well. We are unable to do that now, unfortunately. The company that we partnered with only gets certain Mountain West games, and I found out about 3 o'clock today tonight is not one of the games that they paid for, so we are unable tonight to stream the game here on BNN. It will be on the Mountain West Network on their app. It will be at themw.com. So there are multiple ways to watch the game tonight, but unfortunately, you cannot watch the game at Bronco Nation News, so we appreciate those of you that for your understanding and patience. I was hoping to stream it. We're now hoping for Saturday. I really hope Saturday we can do it for the Montana State game, because I'll be in San Diego, so I could be watching the game with you guys from San Diego and commenting and chatting during the game before the football game. So that is hopefully the goal for Saturday. We'll let you know. But, again, no live stream for me tonight during the game. You're going to have to go watch that on the Mountain West Network tonight. Brian King will be doing the color tonight for that one. So the technical fouls for uniforms, I don't know the rule for that. I don't know if they're going to give a technical foul to UTRGV for wearing the same uniform color or not. Not sure how that's going to work out. But we'll see if they decide to give them a technical foul or not for a misunderstanding and showing up with the same uniforms that Boise State does have tonight. So looking forward to this one. Boise State, Rio Grande Valley. Again, they are 1-1 coming in on the season. Boise State also 1-1. Both teams coming off a win, and Boise State hoping to keep the momentum going from a 101-77 win that the Broncos got on Saturday against Utah Valley. This is a solid squad. Solid squad coming in at 169 in KenPom. So they got a nice KenPom ranking, and they're going to come in here trying to, upset Boise State. And they got some guys that can shoot it. So Boise State's going to have to play well in this game. The defense is going to have to be better, like we said. And I'm very curious tonight in Game 3 to see what the rotations look like tonight, what Boise State decides to do in terms of the starting lineup. Do they stick with an R.J. Keene? Do they make some switches there? And what do they do in terms of the minutes? Because some guys that we really thought would get a lot more minutes, like a Pearson Carmichael, are struggling a little bit right now and haven't gotten the minutes in the first 2 games that they probably thought. But I think Pearson Carmichael, Julian Bowie, R.J. Keene, some of the guys I'm talking about are great players and going to have solid seasons here. And we're 2 games in and not going to make any big-time, decisions or, I guess, observations or analysis or come to any conclusions, I guess I should say, 2 games into the season. So I see Matt Boucher down there to the right. He's ready to go. He looks fired up for this one. Seth Robinson. I see Mark Sanchez down there to the right. So a nice who's who so far of, alumni and boosters and folks here for Boise State and UTRGV on a Tuesday night. As, again, Boise State looks for their 2nd straight win of the season. They're getting ready for the national anthem here. Both teams have left the court. I'm going to go ahead and let you hear a little bit from Leon Rice, the Boise State coach. Leon Rice speaking to the media yesterday. We'll play a couple minutes of his comments to the media, and then we'll be back after the national anthem. Happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all the veterans out there for your service. And I got a chance to see my son's 5th grade Veterans Day concert today at his elementary school. So thank you to all the veterans out there. Appreciate your service today. And we'll be back momentarily here on Bronco Nation News. But for now, let's hear a little bit from Leon Rice yesterday ahead of tonight's game against the Vaqueros of UTRGV.
Most about the other day.
Well, we improved on a lot of things, and we were playing as a unit. We understood what makes us good a little bit better. We had a lot of assists. We played really hard, and that's our signature. We're not anywhere near where we can be or where we're going to be, and we're not nearly good enough defensively. And our rebounding is pretty good, but it can get better. And that's probably our biggest primary focus. And our offense, we got guys that can make shots, okay? But you don't rely on shot making to win you games. You rely on shot quality, and we can still get better at that. Is the shot selection and how we get them for each other, and then we get all those. I mean, I mentioned every aspect of a game of basketball, really, but when it's November 7th or 8th or 9th, whatever it is today, you better have a lot of things you can improve on. I mean, there's some teams that maybe don't have a ton of things they can improve on. We got a lot, and that makes me feel like we got a good upside.
With the defense, I mean, were some of the issues you're seeing were you seeing those all summer and fall in practice, or are they just cropped up recently? Or
no, and some of them are just, when you start putting lineups together, and you have 5 guys out there, and 4 guys are doing their job, and where a game like if a team's willing to make you guard, all it takes is one guy to break down, and I think that's what you see is maybe one guy breaks down, and it just makes your defense look terrible because now it results in a lay-in, and it can be as simple as losing track of who you're guarding, and sometimes that's a bit of rookie mistakes that if you ask me throughout my career, that's probably a consistent thing with rookies or younger guys is some of those defensive fundamentals are lost, and it takes time to teach them.
The pace of Saturday's game felt a lot faster than kind of what you guys have been used to in the past. And you felt like you guys were really thriving in that. Is that something you think can be an identity of the team this year?
as long as because playing like that, you got to have some discipline and some mental toughness, and because you got to run first of all, and then you got to consistently run, and then you got to know what's working. And sometimes I think what I've seen with this team already is something will work and it looks so easy. You're like, man, that is great. And then for some reason you go away from it. When it's working, keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And that's just us educating these guys on that, and we watch a lot of film with them, and so they start to understand. They're like, yeah, why wouldn't we do what keeps working? It seems common sense, but sometimes in the game of basketball, you see it all the time. A guy makes 3 easy shots in a row, and then somebody else shoots for no apparent reason. Things like that. But that's that's learning roles, learning how to make each other better, and when we can do that, we're going to be really good offensively.
I think in sports, creating a sense of urgency after a loss is usually when that's a little easier.
Yep.
So how have you seen them even come back to work after a 101 point?
Yeah, great, because we learned a lesson there, and that's what I always tell these guys. It's just as hard to respond the right way, perfectly, after a win than it is after a loss. It may feel worse after a loss, and you feel like you're suffering more, but the response still has to be the same, and that's why we really work on not too high, not too low. We want to celebrate and have so much joy in every win, and because but you got to earn that joy with how hard you play and how you prepare for it, and I think that's a valuable lesson to learn early.
Obviously, you're learning rotations and.
There's Leon Rice. Appreciate him for meeting with the media yesterday. Again, you can watch that full interview with Leon Rice up on our YouTube channel in the final minutes here before tip-off, if you would like. But crowd filing in, not a sellout crowd by any means, but a nice steady crowd still filing in. I think it's going to look a little better here in the next 7 minutes, as it's still 6:53, and this is one of those games that is starting kind of right at 7. So a little bit of a late arriving crowd, but you do see fans up in the third deck. And I would suspect this to overall end up being a nice crowd once it's all said and done. But a lot of empty orange seats in the lower level right now. Not a lot of students here as well. Student section's pretty much empty to this point. So we'll monitor the crowd here moving forward. But so far, not a lot of folks. And I just got a text from someone saying empty parking lots. So maybe the crowd won't be that big tonight. We'll see. But you know what? Boise State can play well and earn the crowds back here for future games, and play like they did against Utah Valley. And I'm sure they're going to have a crowd back here. They had $4 tickets for tonight's game. Bernie's Balcony, $4 tickets, since they only gave up 4 threes to Utah Valley last game. So trying to see where those folks are at that took advantage of the $4 tickets. But do we have any games on the docket for BNN? I'm trying for Saturday. I hope I can do Saturday. We'll have to wait and see if they allow it. But again, they did not allow it tonight because the company I used, did not pay to stream the game tonight. So cannot do it tonight, but hoping in the future I will be able to get to some other games that we can stream for you guys. But right now we're just pregame, postgame. I'll be on Twitter with some stats and some observations and things like that. And obviously no in-game broadcast, unfortunately, due to the Mountain West Network stream not allowing that, like I said. But we'll go pregame. And then give us about 20, 25 minutes post-game. If you're at the game, it'll allow you to get home. If you're at home, it'll give you a chance to get the kids to bed or get some stuff done. Give us about 20 minutes and then pop back on to the YouTube channel here of Bronco Nation News, and we'll have full post-game coverage. You'll hear from Leon Rice. You'll hear from some players, and we'll have full analysis. Abe Jackson will join me as well. So definitely make plans for the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show every game and the Jackson's postgame show every game as well. We appreciate our friends at Lithia Ford for their sponsorship of the pregame show, Jackson's for their sponsorship of the postgame show, and, of course, our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com. All your painting needs. You see that logo in the top left-hand corner of every single broadcast we do at Bronco Nation News. RowePaint.com, R-O-E Paint.com is our title sponsor, and we appreciate Andy Rowe and Company. So all your painting needs, make sure you hit up our title sponsor, Andy Rowe and RowePaint.com. You see Rio Grande Valley, UTRGV, the Vaqueros taking the court. They've got the orange undershirts, shooting shirts, but only the gray shorts. If you joined us late, going to be white against gray as they screwed up and brought the wrong uniforms here for tonight's game. But hopefully you folks will subscribe, BroncoNationNews.com. We'd love to have you subscribe to our website. Become a paying subscriber at BroncoNationNews.com. You're going to get a lot of exclusive shows like our show tomorrow night, Ball Talk with Sanford and Johnny. That will be a subscriber-only show tomorrow night on Ball Talk. So we appreciate all of you that have already become paying subscribers, and we would love it if you guys would become a paying subscriber. Again, that website is BroncoNationNews.com. Hey, here come the Broncos wearing those script, nice, sharp-looking new uniforms, the script Broncos with the retro logo. Boise State taking the floor to a nice ovation. Going to be a fun game tonight. Looking forward to it. Enjoy the game, folks. We got 3 minutes on the clock. You can watch it on the Mountain West Network, VMW.com. Download that Mountain West Network app. And as always, follow us on social media. Go subscribe. We'll be chatting about the game in the message boards at BroncoNationNews.com. And then give us about 20 minutes post-game. We'll be back after the game on Bronco Nation News, the Jackson's post-game show, about 20 minutes after the game. We'll have live show with Abe Jackson, interviews, and all kinds of great stuff. So enjoy the game. Appreciate you guys. Should be a fun one. Boise State, the Ken Palm line is 17, so they need to try to find a way to win this one by 17, and should be a good one. Excited to be here courtside, or here in the corner of the court, I guess, to watch this one. So enjoy it, folks, and we'll talk to you on the post-game show. PJ Raines, Bronco Nation News. Online, go subscribe, the all-new BroncoNationNews.com. Enjoy the game, everybody.
And final blade of grass. Done. And done. Who knew it'd take 2,007 man-hours to paint 47,962,053 blades of grass? Smells like game day. Whoa, it's not dry yet.